Imagine you're high up in the rainforest canopy, munching on some of your favorite foliage, when all of a sudden, you hear a rustle of some leaves and the snap of a twig. You wheel around to find a python with cold, steely eyes, and it's slithering into your domain. You act quickly, nimbly running away to the edge of a branch until there's nowhere else to go. The python, undeterred, decides to go out on a limb in hopes of scoring a meal. What would you do? What could you do? Well, there's an arboreal mammal that would not be out of options in such a scenario. But bold and daring tactics are exactly the qualities a tree denizen needs to make it in life, death, and taxonomy. Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy. It's 30 minutes of interesting animal info with even hotter wings.
What?
I mean, for you, I'm Joe.
And I'm Carlos, and a little bit hungry.
And today we're talking about Australia's version of a monkey, which is, of course, a marsupial. Way to play to stereotypes, Australia. I guess there's no improving on a classic.
Yeah. Australia is great, and so are marsupials.
They are. They're pretty good. And, they all have the same face, I've noticed.
Which is adorable.
Yeah, it is adorable.
Kangaroos can be a little bit on the less adorable side, but most marsupials are pretty cute.
So, I feel like this animal that we're talking about today, which is, of course...
The tree kangaroo.
The tree kangaroo. You can see the transition, or the relation between a koala and a kangaroo in the face.
I don't see koala.
There's some species that look very koala-esque.
Well, this species I didn't see very much koala.
Yeah, this one's very on the kangaroo end of the spectrum.
But there was one, I forgot what it was called, but it had that koala nose almost.
Yes, yeah.
But this one does not. So we're talking about the tree kangaroo, fellas. And not just any tree kangaroo.
And not just fellas.
The Goodfellows tree kangaroo.
Ah.
So this tree kangaroo is objectively better than you.
It's an objectively cute animal.
Yeah, it is. You've picked it. Oh man, yeah, you picked another doozy. One that's irresponsibly cute.
Irresponsibly.
The Goodfellows tree kangaroo is also known as the ornate tree kangaroo. It's named after zoologist Walter Goodfellow, who is apparently a narcissist. But we're gonna call it here the tree-eyed double-garoo because it kind of looks like Tigger a little bit.
I guess, yeah. And kanga.
And yeah, kangaroos jump, stuff like that. And also the jumping Joey Pesci.
Nice.
There's a little bit of a Goodfellas reference in there. Funny, ha-ha. Like a clown. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, no, I haven't. But I know that.
You know that
part.
reference.
Yeah.
All right, so the Goodfellas tree kangaroo is in the kingdom Animalia. Not with an H, just Animalia. Or Animalia, or whatever you want to call it. The phylum is Chordata. Class is Mammalia. We're doing another mammal because you're a mammal man, as usual.
Yeah.
I have to say the N for class because it makes the most sense, which is Marsupiali. Nope, that wasn't it either.
Is it two eyes in a row again?
No, Marsupialia. Marsupialia. There we go.
Okay.
I don't like it. The family is Macropodidae. Big feet. That makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Kangaroos got big feet.
Sure.
The genus is Dendrolagus, which immediately made me think of lagomorphs.
Yeah.
Which are kind of like...
bunnies?
Kangaroos are just giant deer rabbits.
Deer rabbits.
You guys are cute.
Tricks are for kids.
That's pretty good. And species is my second favorite species name. Love this. Goodfellowy. I love these ones that just tack an I on the end of this ridiculous word, like Pink Floydy that we did a couple episodes ago. And now, Goodfellowy. So the binomial nomenclature is Dendrolagus or Dendrolagus. Dendrolagus Goodfellowy. That's what we're working with here.
Sounds good, fellowy.
So, yeah, good fellow. Let's talk about its appearance because it's very important for you to get an idea of what this thing looks like, despite the fact Well, aside from the fact that we just said it was very cute. So you can start there and we'll work upwards. It doesn't look very much like a tree or a kangaroo.
Yeah, no, and
It doesn't have those big, like, it doesn't really have very big feet. Like the kangaroo does.
It
like,
sure doesn't.
These giant, like, logs for feet.
No.
Imagine more of a bear mouse lemur. That's what I got.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like if you took a sloth bear and you shrunk it down, put a giant tail on it, gave it a mouseier face than bears tend to have, and kind of gave it a lemur hue.
There is a species called the ursine kangaroo,
Yeah.
tree kangaroo. So,
But I think this one looks more like a bear than even that one.
Huh.
In certain pictures.
yeah.
So it has the rotund bear-like body, and on the ground it kind of like,
Hops or lumbers.
yeah, it's ungainly. But it has the adorable mouse lemur face. Has a very long tail, longer than its body, and dexterous hands and little people fingers, like kind of those monkey fingers.
Without the thumb.
Yeah, no thumb. But it does have dexterous fingers. It has brown or reddish chestnut fur on its back, white or like cream-colored fur on its belly, and then it has 2 stripes going down its back, and sometimes it has like rings on its tail, like a ring-tailed lemur. So that's kind of what it looks like. It looks like a bear, but is it as big as a bear?
Did you say big?
I don't want to.
That reminds me of something.
I'm not saying it again.
That reminds me of a part of the show that listeners have that I've pulled, are just enamored with it.
Like 3 months after we started this show.
Like it might be the best part of this show. And here we go into it.
We have more people listening now.
That brings us to the listener's favorite part of the show. The part of the show that is introduced by you, the listener.
You can contribute.
Yeah.
Do it.
Just send us you saying measure up in your best voice. Do a Steve Irwin impression. The great one.
Not the bad one. Definitely don't do the bad one.
No, Steve Irwin is the great one. In terms of animal entertainment.
But all
Followed
you
closely by the Kratts.
and age.
Oh, dang it. No, the great one is also David Attenborough.
Oh, David Attenborough.
He's also a great one. Anyway, this episode features one.
Ramon, my uncle.
Yeah, yeah. It is. This measure up segment is introduced by Ramon.
Papito.
Without further ado, 3, 2, 1.
Measure up.
It's good because of the way it is.
Goes down smooth.
Yeah, it does. Let's move right into length. It's about 143 centimeters or 4.6 feet. How many tree kangaroos go into the height of the Punjak Jaya, the highest elevation in New Guinea? It's a mountain.
Okay.
And it's pronounced apparently Punjak, but it's Puncak.
That makes sense.
Nary a J to be found.
Well, it's like I think that classical composer Dvorak or Dvorak or whatever, Dvorak, I think. It's like Davorak. Like there's a J pronunciation as part of that, and it throws me for a loop every time. But anyway, so
Maybe
we're talking
it's
about a mountain.
A Hirimatu name.
We're talking about a mountain in Papua New Guinea.
You know what? I can tell by the way you use your walk. You're a woman's man who needs a hint.
What?
Punjak Jaya is the tallest island mountain on Earth. Glaciers on the mountain slope are rare examples of equatorial glaciers, which are glaciers that are in the equatorial region near the equator.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Normally they're up north or down south.
So this is a big one.
That's right. It's pretty big.
I didn't know there were super tall mountains in New Guinea or glaciers. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a contested largest mountain in Oceania, But there's another one that people like. Is it in Oceania or is it in Asia? And I forget which country it's in, but it's like it's close to Asia. So people are like, nah, that's Asia. It's still it counts. This one's the largest.
What goes into a continent? Who knows?
Rocks, and dirt, and grass, and
People.
humans,
Yeah.
and other things. And that's what this show's all about.
The other things. All right, I'm gonna say it's 3,000 feet. That's. I know that some of the mountains in Peru are like 4,000 to 5,000 feet. So I feel like the tallest mountain in Oceania would be not quite as tall as those, because those are the Andes.
Right.
Are you talking about above sea level, or from the base?
I'm not sure.
I bet you the base is sea level. It is New Guinea.
Yeah, whatever normally mountains are.
Both. They're measured by both. Like Mount Everest has its sea level and it has its like base.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go with whatever you found.
Yeah.
So 3,000 feet. That sounds like a good healthy mountain. And what we said, 4.6. You said
4.6 feet.
We're gonna take that down 4.5.
Okay.
Darn it! This math doesn't go very easily. Doesn't go easily into 10 or something like that. Or I'm gonna go with about 650 lemur. Or they're not lemurs, tree kangaroos. 650 tree kangaroos, stem to stern, can go up to the top of this mountain.
So you said it was
3,000 feet.
3,000 feet. It is 4,884 meters.
Oh, man.
It is 16,024 feet tall.
Oh, goodness. That was
so the answer is 3,560 tree kangaroos.
Whew. I think I meant meters. Except one of the number I was thinking of must have been in meters for those Andes mountains. Those Andes mints. Goodness, those come in meters too.
I wonder if an Andes mountain finishes off a good Italian food meal as good as a mint. Probably not. Let's go to weight. They're 7 kilograms or 15 pounds. Papua New Guinea is one of the most culturally diverse countries on the planet and has many known languages. If each one of these languages was manifested into a single object that weighed 1 pound, how many tree kangaroos would go into the total weight of all of these 1 pound languages combined?
All right. I'm following you. You haven't lost me yet.
Okay.
Also, I studied linguistics. So linguistic diversity was something that we went over.
Yeah, so you may have heard this number before.
I know that there are roughly 7,000 languages in the world, and most of them are in Papua New Guinea because it's mostly conquered.
Well, here's a hint, and this will actually help. Papua New Guinea has 4 official languages, including English, Hiri Matu, Tok Pisin, and Sign Language. So you know there's at least 4.
I've heard Tok Pisin. We had to do a report on it. All right, so I'm going to say that because there are so many. I don't remember what the number was. If there are 6 or 7,000 languages in the world, I mean, 3,000 of them can be in Papua New Guinea. It's possible.
It's Papua New Guinea. It's
Papua. Yeah, sure. Let's go with it. Let's run with it. It might be way off.
Okay.
But so 3,000. So it's 3,000 pounds.
You're right. So how many kangaroos go into that? They're 15 pounds.
15 pounds, yeah. So, well, if you multiplied 15 by 100, you'd have 1,500. So I think the answer would be 200.
Okay. 200 is the final answer.
Yeah.
The answer was that there are 852 languages.
Oh, darn it.
And there's 57 tree kangaroos. The kangaroos go right into that.
This was a bad one. My guessing was way off. And this was my area of study.
Well,
how could I not remember this?
At least you knew there was a lot.
I didn't say 8.
But that's all I got. That's all I got for Measure Up.
All right, well, let's move on to the range.
This segment. Hashtag measure up.
Ew. Let's move on to the range, which we just answered because we've been talking about Papua New Guinea, because Papua New Guinea is where these good fellas live.
Yes, other species also live in Australia, but these boys are in New Guinea.
Usually northwestern Australia. So kind of like as close to Papua New Guinea as you can get without also being in Australia.
More species live in Papua New Guinea than live in Australia. Which is interesting because this is a smaller place.
Yeah, but it has a lot of biodiversity.
Yeah, and lingual diversity.
And fewer Europeans hunting things to extinction.
Yes, and more rainforests and trees.
Yes, that also helps. Which answers the second question, which is their habitat, which is rainforests and mountainous tree areas. They like trees. They're tree kangaroos.
Yeah.
Get it through your head.
Deal with it.
Stop asking.
We're tree kangaroos, if you please. We're tree kangaroos, if you don't please.
Timely Lady in the Tramp reference. We are in the trees, if you please. We're in the trees, if you don't please. So their diet, because they live in trees, is trees. Well, leaves. The leaves on those trees. Lots of tree kangaroos like to eat fruit, but these guys specifically like to eat leaves. And I don't remember what the leafivore name was. Do you remember?
Herbivore.
Nope, that's not it.
Somebody who just eats leaves?
Yeah.
Keep talking and I'll figure it out.
Okay. It's not like fruits are frugivores. Fish are piscivores. Meat is carnivores. These guys are omnivorous. Tree kangaroos are omnivorous because they not only eat leaves, but they'll also eat fruit, and they'll also eat insects, and they'll eat eggs in captivity, and snakes, which is crazy.
Folivore.
Folivore. I can't even repeat what you just said. Folivores, yes. Foliage. That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, there's a word that has to do with leaves. Foliage is the word.
If I keep looking down at my phone a lot, it's because I have a picture of the most adorable pair of mother and child. They have the same facial expression, and they have the same, like, head tilt, and the Joey is in the little pocket.
Yeah, it looks like that Joey's ready to not be in the pocket anymore.
It's a good picture.
It's kind of growing out. All right, so that's what they eat. There's leaves and nuts and fruit, birds. Birds also, yeah. Eggs, snakes. They also eat tree sap and bark. They specifically eat the leaves of the silkwood tree because that's very prevalent there, and they can climb those easily. And they just love that good silkwood tree leaf taste. Classic.
That good silkwood tree leaf taste that kids love.
Yeah, they brought in the light version and nobody liked it, so they went right back to silkwood tree leaf classic. So here's some fast facts before we get into the major fact. Their lifespan is about 14 years in captivity. Most of what we know of them is from captivity because Papua New Guinea is not a very well explored place.
And they're pretty good at hiding.
Yeah, and they're very fast. In trees. They're solitary hunters when they, go and eat like snakes and whatnot. But for the most part, they kind of roam by themselves anyway. They're nocturnal primarily to not be eaten by other things. And they have what's called a sacculated stomach.
Well,
what?
Sounds great.
Isn't that it's tasty?
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a cow, where they have like a fermentation vat in their stomach and we talked about this with the Hoatzin bird. Mm-hmm. Because in order to eat primarily leaves, you have to have a special stomach for it, and that involves, having this part of your gut that ferments, and the bacteria eats the leaves that you ate, so that you can digest them because apparently things aren't supposed to eat leaves.
Yeah, well, plants have a good defense in terms of the cell wall, in terms of being broken down by your gut.
Yeah, but insects don't have a problem, but mammals apparently and birds do. Yeah. Unless they have this sacculated stomach. They, like other marsupials, tree kangaroos keep their young in a pouch for close to a year. These young are called joeys.
Hey, that me.
Like you. And they look a little like strawberry or cinnamon flavored jelly beans at first. One tree, and here's an interesting story. One tree kangaroo joey was transferred to the pouch of a wallaby at the Adelaide Zoo when its mother died, and it survived.
Nice.
The wallaby raised it. And if you don't know what a wallaby is, it's a smaller version of a kangaroo.
It's a little kangaroo.
It looks exactly like a kangaroo, but a little bit smaller.
Yep. Also adorable.
Yeah. More adorable because it's smaller.
And it has an adorable name. Wallaby.
Wallaby. Go see a man about a wallaby. That started out Cockneyed and ended up Australian. Tree kangaroos also only have one joey per year, which is about all you can handle. Am I right?
Measure up.
But that's all I got. Those are the general info pieces on the Goodfellows tree kangaroo.
Alrighty. Let's get into the majorest effects. Not necessarily. If you really like marsupials, it will be. The tree kangaroo is specifically designed and specially designed to live the arboreal lifestyle. So they have curved claws, similar to a sloth, that helps them hook onto branches. Other tree-dwelling animals that have no claws, like apes and monkeys, need thumbs and a powerful grip to get around. But they do not have thumbs. Curved claws allow animals to grip with no thumbs.
Grip is good.
Yeah, real convenient.
Grip good. Good grip.
Good grip. They got a grip. They also have incredibly dexterous paws, like you said. The only other thumbless mammal with similar dexterity is the raccoon, which also has like little people hands.
Do they not have thumbs?
Raccoons do not have thumbs.
I always thought they had thumbs.
But their fingers are splayed out in a way that almost looks like a thumb.
Maybe they could use one as a thumb in a pinch. If they needed to pinch something, they could use it as a thumb.
What the perfect joke just showed up in here.
What are you doing in here?
What a comedian's supposed to do now? It was a perfect joke.
I want to do the raccoon eventually because that is...
It's a fun animal.
Is it a cat? Is it a
trash
dog
panda?
Is it a fox? What is it? Trash panda? Yeah.
So tree kangaroos have powerful forelimbs that allow them to climb with ease. You can tell just by looking at them that they have yoked shoulders under their plush fur.
Same here.
They climb by wrapping their forelimbs around tree trunks and pushing up with their back legs. Unlike their ground-dwelling kin, tree kangaroos don't have proportionally large legs like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you can even see them like doing... How would you describe this? Just like shimmying along with their forelimbs, like along a branch, and they'll like kick up their legs to hold on every once in a while, but to move they'll just use their arms.
Oh, so they'll just kind of like hand over hand?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Good technique. Unlike their... Oh, no, wait. Instead, their arms and legs are around the same size as their like heft is up in the upper body.
Mm-hmm.
So like their chest and shoulders are thick and muscular, where a ground-dwelling kangaroo would be lower.
They're more teardrop shaped.
Right. Although there's some pictures of some yolk with an L.
Yolk.
Yolk.
That's I feel like those are photoshopped. I've seen those pictures.
No, they're for real. Like they can be beefy in the upper body.
They have the tiny little like Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. Well, how are they getting?
I don't
how
know,
are they
brother.
working out?
I don't know. Maybe those are steroided up, but
I don't know. I'll believe it when
look up some pictures.
I'll believe it when I feel those pecs.
Oh, you don't want to. It'll be followed by a swift kick.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
So the anatomical arsenal that completes the ensemble is their long, heavy tail. When you see a tree kangaroo walk along the ground, they awkwardly hunch forward and like hop around, and that's because they are countering their tail weight,
Mm-hmm.
because they're dragging a long heavy tail.
Their tail is longer than they are. It's like
Yeah, by about a foot or half a foot.
6 inches, yeah.
So this is because their tails are weighted to center their body weight when they're on like thin branches and stuff. So if Thanos was holding a tree kangaroo, he would be like perfectly balanced.
That's all things should be.
Yes. So yeah, he would survive the snap because he's perfectly balanced.
I don't think that was the criteria for.
Oh sure,
surviving
no,
the
it
snap.
has to. You have to have a long tail. That's
Being balanced.
Counts your
You
body
only
weight.
killed balanced people.
unbalanced people.
Or unbalanced, yeah.
So the tails are usually, like you said, half a foot longer than their body length, but it's not prehensile like a spider monkey's.
They can't just wrap it around.
They
whatever
can't
want.
grab stuff. It's mostly for balance. So there's a video where you can see a tree kangaroo balancing on a thin rope, standing with its four limbs on it.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent technique, perfect dismount. So you can click on a link on ldtaxonomy.com/tree-kangaroo to see this video.
That's probably what we're gonna make the URL.
Yeah. So here's where the fact gets major. They're capable of making daring leaps from one tree to another and from the tree to the ground. So, and their bodies are specifically designed to make this possible. Tree kangaroos have been recorded leaping from one branch to another branch 9 meters or 30 feet below.
Below.
Yeah. So like jumping down 3 stories to another branch.
I feel like they dislocate their shoulders.
They have specially padded paws to help soften the landing and absorb some of that impact like a crumple zone on a family sedan.
Nice, but the shoulders.
Yeah, well, guess what? It gets more major than that.
What?
When they're in a bind, like being cornered by a predator, and there's no viable branch to leap to, they will jump out of the tree to the forest floor. They can jump as many as 18 meters or 59 feet to the ground.
What?
Yeah.
I thought only cats could survive that.
60 feet? They're dead. 59 feet.
If it jumps up before going down, it's toast.
I assume 59 was because it was a translation of the 18 meters, not because it was like a very specific number.
That is crazy. How does it do that?
So their bodies are plush with dense, fluffy fur that allows them, like, it absorbs that impact and allows them to hit the ground without injury. They even look like stuffed animals.
They do.
Which it says right here in my notes. They look like stuffed animals. If you look at them, they look plush, like you could win them at a fair.
They look both plush and yoked.
Yeah.
Not yoked, but yoked.
Yeah.
Not quite.
No. It's a nice combination.
That is crazy. 66 stories.
Yeah.
You could jump from the top of the building that we work at.
Yeah.
And
if that's not relatable enough.
Onto the ground. And wow, that's crazy.
So I watched a video where they're doing research, and they hired people that used to hunt tree kangaroos, but now work for the people trying to save them.
Okay, so the Goodfellows tree kangaroo is endangered, right?
Yes, it's endangered. Some of the species are of least concern, but some of them are more endangered because of deforestation and stuff like that, and because they can be a local food source. But they're hard to find. They're like some of the you will look up into. There's this type of moss that's like that chestnut brown color.
Oh, really?
And it looks just like if you saw a tree kangaroo just dangling there, you'd be like, oh, that's moss.
Look, it's moss.
Yeah.
It's Morris moss.
Yeah, it's peat moss.
What were you saying about the video?
So what they'll do to catch them, when they locate one, they'll go up into it, they'll clear away like foliage on the ground, send somebody up a tree after it, and coax it to jump to the ground. And it will do it.
Why wouldn't it just jump to a different tree?
It might, but they try to like corner them so that they can't do that.
Huh. And it's fine?
Yeah, it's always fine.
That's crazy.
There's another video where you can watch them like do this, and they're putting like a little camera on it, and it's some of the most adorable footage because it's taken by a tree kangaroo, and it's like it's looking at the sun setting or the sun rising, and it's like scratching itself and making like adorable sounds.
I gotta see this video.
It's great, but they also like wrapped it in like a little towel or like a blanket, and it was like just sitting there, just like having a fine time. And they're like putting this thing on it, and it was like they said they didn't use any sedation or put any drugs in it.
It just loves life.
Yeah, I'm sure it was scared on the inside, but
it belongs in Australia.
Yeah.
Just, no worries, mate.
You want me to do some videographer work? I got you.
So like that. So and then there's a video of it. Like the video captures it jumping from 18 meters.
I didn't see that, but.
Because
it might.
Like you have time to think about that fall. That's like a jump.
Yeah.
Then you're on the ground.
Not quite that long, do you think?
I don't know.
It's a decent jump though.
You know, that's 4 seconds of falling. 4 or 5 seconds of falling. That's enough for you to.
It depends.
That's enough for you to regret jumping.
I don't know what the terminal velocity of a tree kangaroo is, but
you don't reach it in 5 seconds. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That's all I got.
That's the tree kangaroo. Well, welcome to another Cute Animals by Joey.
About Joey's.
About Joey's. From Joey. So, in the spirit of that, out there in Podcastia, you pick up a Joey, nurse him back to health, and take a giant leap of faith, like the Goodfellas tree kangaroo in life, death, and taxonomy.
Howdy, LDT listeners. It's Joe here with a public service announcement. We are critically low on Measure Up intros, and that's where you can help. Send your Measure Up intro to ldtaxonomy@gmail.com. All you gotta do is put it in your memos section or your recording device on your cell phone, and then just email that straight on over. You can probably do it straight from the app. If you have an iPhone, you definitely can. I don't know how the other half lives, so it's on you guys to figure out. You Android users. Anyway, we need you. We need this. Give it to us. That's it. That's all I got. I'll probably end it way before that.
You're going off the rails fast.
Life, Death, and Taxonomy is my favorite in the world podcast.
Let's make this 100% perfect so I don't have to edit it.
The episode?
Yeah.
All right.
No ums, no likes, and like no pauses.
You still like.
Well, this isn't a blooper reel.